Good evening, everyone. The time is now 6 p.m. and the Spring Lake Board of Commissioners work session meeting is now called to order. I do ask that you silence your cell phones and please keep all conversations to the absolute minimum out of respect for the business of the town. Let's begin by inviting Pastor Baker to the podium to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. Please stand and join us if you choose to.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving Lord God, we come before you this evening with gratitude. We thank you for being a God of love who is with us now in this very room. You never leave us or forsake us. Your grace has brought us safe thus far, and your grace will lead us home, Lord. We thank you for making each of us in this room, every person we meet, every citizen of this town and others like it, in your image, with dignity and infinite worth. We thank you for the calling you have given each of us to be good stewards of your creation and to love our neighbors as ourselves. Lord God, I thank you for these your servants, our mayor, our town staff, and council members. Thank you for the service they have chosen to take up on behalf of Spring Lake. We all come to this room tonight as complex human beings, carrying burdens, carrying joy and hope, trusting that you alone can hold us together, O God, in your love and peace. Help us, Lord, to trust you more than our fears or our triumphs. May we discern your wisdom for the decisions that are made here tonight. Father God, we pray not just for wisdom, but for the strength and courage to do what is right and good for all our citizens.
Yes.
May the interests of others be placed above our own. May we act with love for the common good. May we be good neighbors, recognizing your image in every person. Loving Lord, we thank you again for this council, our mayor, town staff. We thank you for all of our first responders and those who work to make this place we call home a wonderful place to work and live. In the name of your Son, Christ Jesus, whose perfect love sets us free from all of our fears. Amen.
Amen.
Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll now move on to our additions and deletions. Mayor Pro Tem?
Madam Mayor, I'd like to add Budget Amendment 15 FY 2026 to the agenda.
We'll add that under new business agenda item 9C, budget amendment 15. Are there any other additions or deletions? Are we supposed to have closed session today?
Yeah.
Can we add that to the agenda? I know you were out of town, it's okay. And well, you can get the general statute after, but we're gonna go ahead and add closed session, as number 10. And it is attorney-client privilege. And personnel.
Mayor, I just want to ask you, that this Attorney Porter said he will be available by phone. Attorney Porter is out of state.
So he'll be available.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can't do closed session because we need Mr. Porter.
If you want him by phone, you can.
We can check
Okay.
and let us know when we'll add it. We can control. Thank you. I'll now entertain a motion to approve the agenda subject to the adding of closed session if Mr. Porter is available. Commissioner Thompson, so moved. Is there a second? Commissioner Cooper? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. There are no consent items, so we will move on to our public comment section. Each member will be allotted 3 minutes. Topics must be related to the town of Spring Lake only. And the board will not be able to respond during the public comments. If possible, the questions can be addressed during updates at the end of the board meeting. We'll begin with Mr. Frank Alexander. Topic of concern is infrastructure and Regina Drive.
Good evening, my name is Frank Alexander. I live at 714 Regina Drive in Spring Lake, North Carolina. There is a section of Regina Drive that has been worked on for a while now. And while most of Regina Drive is a paved road, like most of the roads here in Spring Lake, it has a section of it that has been tore up and looks like a moon crater situation. Some of the potholes in it are several inches deep and makes for very interesting driving on the roadway. To address an issue I saw here a month ago, sticking with infrastructure, and we were talking about financing thereof, I just have a question. Since 210 is my understanding of a state road, and the other road we have, which of course is Lillington Avenue, and the other one going up toward Sanford, are both state roads. Would it be possible to ask the state to help us address the issue of getting water and sewage service in that area and have the state help us with the expense of updating that area, if that was the area that you all were thinking about updating? There was a lot of discussion last time last time I was here, was about financing for road and water improvements. That's it, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Marvin Lackman.
Good evening, Mayor, Board, Martin Lackman, 125 Kristen Avenue, Spring Lake, North Carolina. Mayor and Board of Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to address you. The momentum this town was experiencing, regaining the standing with LGC and the state of North Carolina, our governmental partners, investors, all with eyes wide open, waiting to see what happens next. The residents are asking. Here we go again. It's been 2 weeks since Mr. Roy was fired from this board. His replacement in waiting was sitting in the audience that night. That was not random, and these are not the old days, or the old plays. Many of us saw the news media, read the comments and quotes, Penelope Lopez of ABC 11 News interviewed Commissioner Jackson, when on how English's name was selected. Jackson said, "Oh, randomly. I'm not exactly sure. I can't even remember exactly sure. It was just random." Also in that interview, Jackson said the town's water bills being extremely high, as well as the high property tax and some other things. Myron Pitts, the Fayetteville Observer, quoted Commissioner Jackson as to why she voted to fire Mr. Roy and said, basically, he just didn't have the vision that we had. We have a vision to move Spring Lake forward. We have a vision to lower water bills. We have a vision to fix up dilapidated buildings, get rid of them, or put new ones up. It just doesn't have that vision. His vision is not the same as ours, Jackson said. We're just trying to move the town forward. We want to see changes in Spring Lake. Board of Commissioners, this is what was being done with the 4 focus groups, a full-time code enforcement officer, as well as the minimum housing board, and our town communities. To the entire board, where is the additional $70,000 severance package going to come from? raising taxes, or cutting services. Spring Lake residents already pay the highest tax rate in Cumberland County at 74.1 cents per hundred. Hope Mills is a distant second, 48 cents. And Fayetteville at 44.95. Reading the agenda packet, I see budget amendment 13 is being put forward to the board to move $39,000 from the police department budget to help pay Mr. Roy's $70,000 severance package. Treat our tax dollars as precious resources, because they are, and spend them wisely. $70,000, which could have went to plumbing services such as water line repair, even equipment for first responders, now goes to a man who is no longer employed by the town of Spring Lake. Lastly, when will we see or hear more about your vision for Spring Lake, your priorities, and your plans for implementing this vision? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. Ms. Juanita Bonds?
Good evening, Mayor, board members. First, I'm deeply troubled by the firing of our town manager without notice. I have a concerned resident who comes to these meetings regularly. I would like to thank Mr. Overton for your tireless efforts and your expertise in our plans. You have worked really hard. I would like to talk about the people that were hired. First of all, Jackie I hadn't seen in 2 years of one of these meetings. Frederica I hadn't seen in a year. And Tony only saw since the election. So, you know, I don't understand what's going on. You're not getting the newspaper. Jackie said we hired him at random. And then Frederica said, well, we wanted to go in another direction. I don't understand that. Okay, you need to express that to us. I don't like to be without order or our pressure is too low. But the other manager was working on, I'm sorry, we might have to pay higher water bills. We don't have any funds. Anthony is working with Kurt Devier, and hopefully in their budget can have some resources for our infrastructure. But right now, we don't. Was there a violation in open meeting law when Mr. English was hired? Why wasn't the hiring process open to the public? These concerns need to be addressed immediately. Also, I have contacted LGC to probably watching this because I'm really upset about it. I mean, Darren's doing a good job. I know personality, he may not have the best personality, but still, that's what we hired him for, to do his job. And he was doing it even though we didn't want these high bills, but what else are we going to do? Now, understand it's like $75,000, $85,000 in certain states. Where are we going to get this money? Where is it coming from? But there needs to be oversight, there needs to be transparency. We want to know why. And what are you going to do about it? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Derek Montgomery?
Good evening, Council. Derek Montgomery, 101 Alexander Lane. 26 years ago, a 20-year water and sewer capital improvement program was created, which included part of a long-range plan to upgrade and extend utility infrastructure, water lines, sewer capacity, integration with surrounding systems. It was around 2021, 22 years after the 1999 Water and Sewer Capital Improvement Plan, where leadership notes that the water lines were leaking and budget planning for future repairs should be created. What started 26 years ago, only 5 years ago, did we begin to really see a plan that spoke specifically to major construction projects like street resurfacing and utility replacement. Grant funding was identified. A strategic plan was developed. It was input of that research project that we learned we had approximately $75 million infrastructure need. Board meetings over the past few years frequently spoke to the deficit that the town was in due to basically giving away water and creating a deeper deficit, leaving no money for infrastructure repairs. The previous sitting board made the difficult decision to do what was best for the town and not just a few. Our previous town manager was a huge part of this project, and without merit, our 3 newly elected commissioners have added to the problem by terminating one without merit, and now we must take funds from an already underfunded department. The decision was less than wise, not considerate of the town, but I'm sure of a select few. Further, got on public interviews to say the water bills was a driver, which we are still not amongst the highest across the state of North Carolina. Also stated property tax increase as a driver, which Spring Lake did not increase our property taxes. The county did, and we have no jurisdiction over that. Lastly, to choose a town manager replacement at random is reckless and dangerous to a town recovering from embezzlement issues and state oversight. Reviewing the town manager's experience, he has no experience in recovering towns out of critical conditions and no town management experience. Managing businesses and managing a town is 2 different things. And while if we are a town with a strong background and better infrastructure shape, he'd be more aligned for us. However, choosing someone at random has not only upset this community, but it has also created a difficult road for this gentleman. That being said, Mr. Town Manager, I have a few questions that I would like you to answer to us tonight. What are your top 3 goals for the Spring Lake over the next year? What are the basic challenges the town is currently facing? And how does the town balance growth and development while maintaining community's character? Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Montgomery. Enrica Rhodes.
Hi, how we doing tonight? Well, I spoke last time at the Coffee with Commissioners, and so we were supposedly today gonna talk about what was going on, like why all this crazy stuff is going on and nobody's talking or speaking up. And I also talked about the playgrounds as well. So, but I've been talking about that for the last 3 years, so I ain't just start doing this. I've been doing this, but nobody was paying attention or trying to listen. But I do want to say this, when I come to people's cities, I look at your parks, and by your parks, it tells me how y'all move. So like looking at your parks, y'all got burn marks on your slides and all that. You telling me you don't care about your kids, and that's not cool. So I feel like we need to put our kids first. But are we gonna talk about what happened? Because y'all said y'all was gonna speak on it. We couldn't speak on it then, but we can speak on it today. So I was gonna talk about it.
So during public comments, the board doesn't apply to
Okay,
public
so
comments.
when are
But
we going to talk about it?
what I stated was if there are specific questions during public comments, they can be addressed during the board's updates at the end of the meeting.
Oh, okay, because I thought you said we could sit out here and talk about it, something like that. So you just rise for it.
No, that's an entirely different conversation. That's a town hall, but those are not this board meeting.
Okay, I was just, but am I gonna get my answers? Okay, all right. That's it, that's all I wanna say.
Thank you.
All right.
Betty Sanford?
Hello, everybody. So good to see so many people out here tonight. I'd love to see us out here other times, not just at this time, okay? And I'd love to see you all on TV other times other than this time. We in Spring Lake do nice things here, so that should be on TV also. Okay? One thing that I want to say to all of you, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. Psalms 139. Okay? 23 and 24. In other words, when something is going on, we need to search ourselves and see what's going on. Are we doing the right thing? We voted for you. We voted for you. You were there in our churches. You were coming in our communities and stuff, putting your signs up and all this and smiling and everything. But now, when we want to talk, we can't see you, can't find you. And that's not good. There are many things that's going on in Spring Lake that needs to be taken care of. We need to get some transportation up in here. We need not only transportation, we need to lower our water bill. We need to get affordable housing in Spring Lake. We need to make sure that our firemen and our policemen have the safety that they need. We need things for our children here in the community. We shouldn't have to go to Fayetteville for everything. And I've said that many years, and I'm still saying it. And that's what we need to do. Okay? Let me see what else I have down here for you. And I want to know what you're going to do about it. Okay, I talked about affordable housing. And we had all these employees when I started coming for many years. We had these employees, and all of a sudden, there is none that I remember, none that is working here now. And the last one just got fired. I wonder what's going on, so. And I know you said that you can't answer me. But one thing about it, you don't have to answer me. God will answer. And he will search each one of you. And if you're doing anything wrong, I'll know it. I know things now. Because the Lord talks to me. He talks to this girl. I'm 80 years old, but he's still talking to me. And letting me know that some things is done that shouldn't be done. Think about Spring Lake. What can we do? They elected us, so now what can we do to make Spring Lake nice? Have a nice place for the kids to go skating ring and all this, and I'm gonna sit on down. But I'll come and talk to you personally. Okay?
Thank you, Ms. Sanford.
You're welcome, babe.
There are no presentations, and so we'll move on to old business, and we'll begin with agenda item 8A, budget amendment BA10 for FY 2026. Mr. Overton, and you can go ahead and discuss 10, 11, and 12 subsequently.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The first budget amendment we have, budget amendment 10, is for the purchase of a backhoe for the street department. These are this replaces a 2001 John Deere backhoe that needs about $35,000 worth of repairs. These are pictures of the backhoe. It says it's had 8,000 hours of use. Per Mr. Wing, that meter is broken. It's actually had over 10,000 hours of use. The picture to the right, you can see the transmission is not attached on the left side. It's just hanging there dangling. And then there's another picture of some other repairs. This backhoe is worn out. It requires $35,000 of repairs. It's 25 years old. It's just my opinion that spending $35,000 on a 25-year-old backhoe is a waste of money, because it will have to be replaced sooner or later anyway. We have a quote from James River Equipment for a new backhoe costing $135,574. So you have a copy of the quote from James River Equipment for the new backhoe of $135,000. You also have a copy of the quote for the repairs to the old backhoe of $35,000. How are we going to pay for this? We received $94,000 from the city of Fayetteville for power bill money. This was some streets that were annexed by Fayetteville several years ago. They could have been annexed by Spring Lake. Per an interlocal agreement, Fayetteville gives us 30% of the power bill money that they received from these streets. So last year it was $94,000, this year it was $100,000. They forgot to send us the money last year, they sent the 94 this year, so we've got that money. We also sold some old vehicles for about $23,000, you have a copy of that receipt. We're gonna use $16,000 of that, plus the money from, the city of Fayetteville, and $22,000 of our fund power bill savings to pay for this, new backhoe. So request approval to purchase the new backhoe and approve the budget amendment of $136,000, and also recommend declaring the old backhoe surplus and allowing us to sell it on gov deals for whatever we can get for it. Any questions?
Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to, is that a question? No. Commissioner Burke.
Sir, how many quotes did y'all get on the new backhoe?
3, this was a low bid.
I'll now entertain a motion to approve budget amendment VA FY 2026. Commissioner Cooper. So moved. Is there a second? Commissioner Thompson? I second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Ms. Jefferson?
Oh, awesome. Now,
You did, I'm sorry. All in favor? I'm sorry, I just didn't see any, that's why I was asking if you were voting or not. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Yes. Motion carries. Next agenda, or next budget amendment?
All right, we have, budget amendment 11. This is to purchase 400 new water meters at $385 each, a total of $154,000. Okay? We have approximately 4,400 meters townwide. The meters wear out over time. We'd like to replace 10% of them every year. So far this year, we've already replaced the meters on Route 23. We've replaced part of Route 24, which is, we've already replaced 24. Route 23 is Deerfield. We replaced some of those. We still have about 70 or 80 meters left to finish that subdivision. And then we also, the next subdivision we'd like to replace is Pine Knoll and Bass Road. There's about 312 meters on that route. And then after that, Route 28 has about 300 or 400 meters that we can replace. We also need some meters to just repair the broken ones throughout town. You have a copy of the quote from Ferguson Waterworks for 400 meters at $154,000. How do we pay for this? Overheels was on a bulk meter. That meter was broke, and it was only billing about $3,000 a month. We replaced that meter for that entire subdivision, and now we are receiving anywhere $5,000 or $6,000 a month. So that'll give us an extra $20,000 of revenue this year. Also, the sewer in Overheels, which was paid by Cumberland County, they were paying a lower rate than our other outside residents. We increased their rates to the same as all of our other outside residents, which is double the rate of inside residents. So that went from about $4,300, $4,500 a month up to about $17,000, $18,000 a month.
And just for clarity, when he says inside and outside, this is Town of Spring Lake tax-paying residents versus Town of Spring Lake County residents that don't pay the same taxes as we do in the city limits.
So the additional revenue from the county from Overheels, that's about $116,000 of additional revenue that we will receive. We've also had a few new houses hook up this year, 6,000 of water taps and 5,400 of sewer taps. And we sold one vehicle in the water and sewer fund for $6,600. We're going to take all of those revenues combined of $154,000 and purchase 400 water meters to replace the next route, and also have some water meters to repair, meters that are broken. As of a couple of weeks ago, I said we only had about a dozen meters left, so we do need to purchase some meters. So I would request approval of this budget amendment in the amount of $154,000.
I entertain a motion to approve or deny BA 11-20, or FY 2026, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion that we approve budget amendment number 11.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 8C, budget amendment 12, FY 2026.
Okay. This is a budget amendment to approve a grant that we have received from the Fayetteville Cumberland Arts Council in the amount of $7,000. This is to install some artwork and improvements at Mendoza Park. You have attached to that a copy of the approval letter from the Arts Council. You also have a copy of the application that the Appearance Committee submitted to the Arts Council and what they plan to do with this money. The Arts Council has already given us $5,600, or 80% of this. They will pay us the remaining $1,400 upon completion of the project, as outlined in the application that you have attached. You also have a copy of the check of $5,600 that they've already given us. So I request approval of accepting this grant and approval to appropriate the grant to make these improvements at Mendoza Park.
I'll entertain a motion to approve BA 12, FY 2026. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion that we approve BA 12, FY 2026 for the grant.
Commissioner Cooper?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any denial? Hearing none, budget amendment carries, motion carries. We'll now move on. Before we move on, we did receive confirmation from our attorney that he will be able to attend closed session. And so we'll go ahead and make the motion to add that to the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion that we add closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A3, attorney-client privilege, and 143-318.11.6, personnel.
Mayor Pro Tem,
I'll second that motion.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any denied? Motion carries. So we'll add that again as agenda item 10. All right, we'll now move back to agenda item 9, new business, and this is budget amendment 13, FY 2026.
Good. Budget amendment 13, there is no increase in the total budget here, okay? So what we're doing is we're taking $39,000 from the police department's fuel budget. The reason we're able to do that is we budgeted gas at the beginning of the year at $4 a gallon, okay? Fortunately, this year, gas has been anywhere from about $2.50 to $2.89 a gallon. So it's been under $3 the entire year. So we do have some money left over in the police department budget. Even after we take this 39, they will still have sufficient funds, assuming gas prices stay about the same, to pay their gas for the next 4 months, okay? We're going to use that money to pay the severance pay and vacation owed to the former town manager per his contract. Per the contract, he has used 6 months of severance pay. There is only, that's equal to $70,000. There's only 4.5 months with salary left in the budget. So we've already paid 7.5 months already. In addition, he is owed 208 hours of vacation at $67.31 an hour. That comes to $14,000. So we need to increase the salary to cover that extra month and a half and the vacation by about $36,000. We will also need to increase our budget for FICA tax, which is 7.65% of the salary. So that's an increase of $39,000. It's all coming from reducing the fuel budget in the police department. So there's no additional cost in the budget. And you have a copy of the letter from Mr. Rory asking us to send out his severance pay at the end of this month. We've got to submit it to the payroll by Wednesday in order to pay it out by Friday. And you also have a copy of his employment contract stating that he is due 6 months worth of severance pay of $70,000. Request a motion to approve this budget amendment to pay the vacation and severance pay to our former manager.
So just to reiterate, these funds did come from our police department administration budget, where the cost for fuel is. And so that's where these funds came from. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion that we approve budget amendment VA 13 FY 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Jackson? Commissioner Burgess?
Second.
Commissioner Jackson, your line is on. That's why I called you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Now we have budget amendment 14. We had several employees who were terminated for one reason or another or laid off. They have filed for unemployment. So far, their claims this year are $6,769. We are required to reimburse the Employment Security Commission for those unemployment claims. Most businesses pay an unemployment tax of 1% of salaries. If we did that, we would owe about $27,000 a year. Local governments can elect to just reimburse the claims. So the claims for last year were $6,700. That's a lot cheaper than paying the 1% payroll tax. We have $5,500 in contingency for unexpected items. We're going to transfer that. Plus, with some of the vacancies that we have, we can reduce the group insurance for a vacant position in the planning department. So we're going to take that $6,800 and transfer it to the Human Resources Department to pay these unemployment taxes, which are mandatory. So we really don't have a choice here. We have to pay.
Entertain a motion to approve VA 14. Commissioner Cooper? So moved. Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Overton, just looking at that, looks like you said there were several different employees that was terminated, and you don't say the amount, but you said several. And my question is, look like they won the case since we have to pay them out for the unemployment. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Anytime you have to pay unemployment from the time they are terminated until they find another job. They are required to file for it. They also have to look for another job. And these are the claims that have been paid out. And we are required to reimburse the Employment Security Commission whatever they pay.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Motion carries.
All right. Okay. Budget Amendment 15. This is the last one. Because we've had to already do the budget amendment for severance pay for a former manager, there's no money in the budget right now to pay the new manager. So this budget amendment is to pay the salary for 4.5 months or 21 weeks for our new town manager. I talked to Mr. Porter this afternoon. He said the salary is $72 an hour. That's an annual salary of $149,760. Okay, for 21 weeks, At 40 hours, at $72 an hour, that's $60,408. We also have to pay Social Security and Medicare tax at 7.65%, that's $4,627. And then state retirement at 14.41%, that's $8,700. That's a total of $73,821. He also receives an auto allowance of $400 a month, but we don't need a budget amendment for that because we're not paying the former manager that same amount. So we just pay that to the new manager, so that one's covered. Also for insurance, we won't be paying the former manager's insurance, so we don't need to amend insurance either. But we do need to amend salary, Social Security, Medicare taxes, and state retirement, a total of $74,000. And the way we will pay for that is a withdrawal from our savings fund balance appropriated. We're increasing that from $500,000 to $574,000.
So, Mayor Pro Tem, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Question under the justification to amend the budget and the salary and the benefits of the new town manager. It says $149,760, with the 40 hours.
That was his salary for an entire year. Okay, that's just for your information. The salary for 4.5 months is $60,000 plus $4,600 of FICA and $8,700 of retirement. That's just for the 4.5 months from now until June. We will address it.
$149,000?
No, ma'am.
Oh.
74,000.
Oh, okay.
74. 149 is his salary for an entire year. We'll deal with that in next year's budget.
Okay, that's my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Cooper.
Thank you. So, looking at the, budget amendment for Mr. Rory's, severance, he was being paid $67.31 an hour pretty much, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're asking us to approve $72 an hour for this?
That is what the attorney told me.
Okay, because Mr. Rory had 30 years of local government experience. And I don't know if this is where we discuss this here, or do we discuss it in the back? Because, I'm just not gonna, I'm not for giving him $72 an hour with no local government and experience. That's too much money. And it's a waste of taxpayers' money. I mean, we're not doing the right thing by taxpayers. Not with that amount.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Well, we was under the understanding, Ms. Cooper, that we had already decided that, not because we wanted to, it's because that's what the contract was put up for, an interim manager. We had already, decided to put out there. But what I would like to do is table this. Once we go in closed session, we can discuss it. If it's okay with you all, because,
We don't need a motion for that.
no, we don't need a motion for it, I'm just saying, I want to table this to get some clear understanding when we go in for attorney-client privilege.
So we will, make our vote on this budget amendment once we come out of closed session.
That's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll now move on to our mayor's report. Very briefly.
Testing.
Did you have something to say?
I was testing the mic.
Okay. So our mayor's updates, we had coffee with commissioners, on the 18th, where our Cumberland County delegation, came down to speak with us about issues and concerns that our citizens had. It was very informative. I appreciate those who came. Myself and Commissioner Thompson were also present. So I do appreciate you guys for coming out. This is something that they do plan to do often, and so I highly encourage you to come out and have these conversations directly with your Cumberland County Commissioners, remembering that Cumberland County controls our Parks and Rec system. So, I know there was a question about our Parks and Rec system. In 2022, January of 2022, Spring Lake joined the Cumberland County Parks and Recs tax district. And our parks are now managed by Cumberland County Parks and Rec, Fayetteville Cumberland County Parks and Rec. So when the park updates are happening, those are concerns that go directly to the county. And just so you know, there is a plan right now that they are addressing, not just for Spring Lake, but for all the parks in the Cumberland County, Fayetteville Cumberland County Parks and Rec system, which includes all municipalities except for Fayetteville and Hope Mills. So that is happening. Those concerns are being addressed. But just a sidebar, Parks and Rec equipment is extremely expensive. And so we have to wait a little longer when they're updating our parks because the county has to buy in bulk in order to save money on the multiple park systems that they have to address. So we want to see it happen too. If you look back through the years, you'll see Commissioner Lackman was one of the ones who was instrumental in pressing the county to make sure that we had updates and that the parks did not fall by the wayside. So those updates are coming, and I highly encourage you to continue to come out and continue to voice your concerns. If you don't think this is moving fast enough, the best thing you can do is come out and speak on that mic. We have also had a RULAC meeting, and RULAC is Fort Bragg's Regional Land Use Advisory Commission. They're basically the planners for Fort Bragg. I chair that organization, and we met here in our boardroom, and it was a really good meeting where we had an opportunity to hear from DOT to discuss Corridor K, which is the potential highway expansion that will affect Spring Lake directly. And so it is my, I make sure it's a point for Spring Lake to always be at the table when these discussions are being had. This is a major addition to our state. And Spring Lake has an opportunity to be a part of this discussion, so I'm trying to make sure that we stay at the table. Transportation was also brought up. So this was our 4th FAST Transportation Feasibility Study meeting. I have been working directly with Fast Transit to bring our bus system back potentially. So what we have right now is we've got a few route options, and there will be an upcoming town hall where the community will have a chance to provide input on how we see these bus routes run, times of day that they'll run, internal and external service. But again, all of this hinges upon our budget. There is a financial contribution that the town will have to make yearly in order to sustain public transportation, so this is not without cost. And so, to be fully transparent, we may find out that we can't afford to bring transportation back to town of Spring Lake. But just know that the questions are being asked, the plans are being made, and if we can find it in our budget to sustain a transportation system, we will work to bring it back. But again, we haven't had any final layouts for the routes yet, and as soon as I get them, again, like I said, we'll have a town hall meeting where the community will be able to have input on the numbers and the routes. Lunch with the Mayors on the 25th at 12 every Tuesday. Please come out and have lunch with me. This is just a time for us to sit and talk unofficially, where you can address your concerns, tell me about your children, just have a real one-on-one conversation with the mayor so that you understand that I'm still just a resident of Spring Lake and I'm here to hear your concerns. Focus Group 4 will be meeting this Thursday. It's normally on the last Wednesday of the month, but we'll be meeting on Thursday at 6 p.m. right in this boardroom. Again, our Focus Group 4 is on economic development. So if you are interested in having input, this is an open public meeting. So all are welcome. Come out and hear the plans for Spring Lake. And we do have some very exciting news coming out for that focus group. So again, it's Focus Group 4, Thursday at 6 p.m. right here in this boardroom. And Just so all of the board knows and the town, I will be out of town at advanced leadership training from the 1st to the 5th of March. I still will be available via email and phone calls if you need me for anything. And that is all I have, Mayor Pro Tem.
Mayor, where are you lunching?
Ruby Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, Pastor Baker, thank you so very much for that heartfelt prayer. I do believe and I receive. I stand strong on what the Lord and the assignment that He has called me to do. Always taking in consideration the citizen of this great town. So thank you for that heartfelt prayer. Coming back on the board, I left out on the board that was an audit. It's been 4 years that was in the hole with the audit. Again, it's 3 years behind again in the audit. As well as our procurement cards, want to make sure they're utilized correctly and not being utilized because it's taxpayer dollars. Mr. English, I can thank you for getting on the phone. You jumped right on it, that we call the Local Government Commission. Mr. Overton, we sit at a table. We got everything down, and we'll continue to get on that with invoices. Individuals have requested information concerning those procurement cards that's taxpayer dollars that's being utilized. So thank you again that we'll continue to work on that to make sure that our tax dollars are utilized correctly. Our schools. I served military and I used to give the briefings to all those new soldiers that came into Fort Bragg in the surrounding areas. Most individuals for economic development, they looking for schools. And I guess the 3 or 4 years that the schools, we no longer have any schools here in the town of Spring Lake. I think we should have advocated very hard. Miss Perry Harris and I, when they closed down Mayrud Williams, we walked around and got over 300 signatures. We took over 20 individuals down to the Board of Education to speak on the behalf of that school. I do have a right to speak, ma'am. I've invested in this town for over 46 years with property that I own. We'll be respectful in here. These are my concerns. And always making sure our finances, the water bill at the last presentation that was given, I think it was on the 29th of the last meeting, as well as the high taxes. On the 6th of June, an individual wrote a letter concerning our higher taxes. We could have increased some of our taxes if the board would have voted on it. I have the letter here, and I'd like to entertain this at another time to see if we can lower our taxes as well. We have individuals that's out there in the audience that came out here and spoke concerning. Woodland West came out full force concerning the taxes, but we had the opportunity, just as Fayetteville did, to lower our taxes. I will stand strong to continue to work hard for the great town of Spring Lake. This is my home. I have a right to be neighborly and loving. I am an ordained minister, and what I do, I am accountable. I am accountable for what I do. I won't pick and pick backwards because we are adults in here. But thank you. Continue to come out, voice your opinion, and let's be neighborly and move forward. We have the money because we're paying our taxes. Mr. Overton, I thank you for everything that you do and what you're doing and the information that you've received, that I've received that I don't understand about our finances. Because when I left off this board, called the state as well about our finances, and I will continue to stand strong on our tax dollars. Thank you.
I want to remind the audience that we must remain respectful and allow the work to happen. Commissioner Thompson?
Good evening. I just would like everybody to know, early voting is still going on and it will end on Friday, so if you haven't done so, go ahead and do that. And also on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 o'clock at Bethel Amy Zion Church at 255 Bass Road, they do have free tutoring there, so if you have any kids that need tutoring or know of anybody, send them that way. And also, White Flag at Cornerstone Christian Empowerment, which is at 111 Bragg Boulevard, they are still taking donations for their facility. So, and we ask that if you do donate, clothes that they can wear, i.e. sweatshirts, pants, and things of such. And then last but not least, on the 7th of March, we will have our next town cleanup. And Mr. Charles, if you raise your hand so that they know that you're gonna be in charge of it, and if you would like to join, please come out, 1137 North Bragg Boulevard, and you don't need anything but just bring your motivation. That's it. Thank you.
Commissioner Jackson?
We will be getting together to go down to the Board of Education on March the 10th to fight for Manchester, even though they made a decision to close the school. We're still going down there. We're getting ready to start a petition, like Mayor Pro Tem Frederica Sutherland says, that we are going to rally for our schools to see what we can do with our schools. And I need to tell you this, that I do apologize for my response at saying that he was random. What was not said, what was not played, what I said was I didn't know what to say, because I didn't know what we could say out in the public as far as discussions that we discussed in closed session. And some of the materials or some of the things that we said in closed session was brought out to the public. And so that was violating ethics. So it's not that I didn't want to tell you, I just didn't know what to tell you. So, so I do understand your concerns, and I do accept them, and I own up to my mistake, and that was a mistake on my part. As far as the water bills and everything is going up, they're going high. The last meeting we had, Mr. Rory had anticipated within a year that the water bills would be $300, and that in the problem of selling our water system because of the infrastructure. But what was not said was that we didn't have qualified people to look at the infrastructure to see what was going on. Our fire chief is over our water department, bless his heart. He's trying to do the best he can do with what he can do. So I give him kudos for that. But it's not qualified with credentials to handle that water department. As far as Mr. Dennis is concerned, he doesn't have any town manager experience, but he has a lot of state government experience working in the State Department, which we're going to need to go to get some funds that we need to get. So again, I do apologize for my response. It was not to shame y'all, it was just I didn't know what to say because stuff was discussed in a closed session. So with that being said, thank you so much. And if you want to, we'll be ready to go on March the 10th down there to Valley High School.
Could you give us a bit more detail about that March 10th event, please?
Yes, we are actually going to start, we're talking to, I believe her name is Miss Mary, I believe. We wanted to go down there.
Dr. Hale?
Yes, we wanted to go down there to, last time, but we had a meeting the same time that the board had that special meeting. So they voted the next day to close the schools. So we are in the process of trying to get flyers done. Hopefully by tomorrow we have them on deck. They'll be posted out on Facebook. If you need some information, I'll be glad to give it to you. I just don't know the complete details, but I know we're going to be down there. I'll be down there with some other Robert Chadwick. She used to be one of the commissioners here. Very, very, very smart girl, and she loves her children. So she says all of her kids. So she will be with me as well as with some other people too. So just letting y'all know on that. So any other information as we get along, we see if we can put it on the town website. Absolutely. And then for anybody else that want to come on board, come on board.
Mr. Burgess?
I'd like to thank everybody that's came, and the town is going to move forward. We ran for election. We said we were going to make a change. That's what we're doing. We're making a change. Some people like it, some people don't. But we're going to move forward.
Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you. So first of all, I will be attending a webinar on the 24th, about ADA compliance on our websites. The law says that our website has to become compliant, ADA compliant by 2027. For communities over 50,000, it's 2026. So we're not ADA compliant, so we're gonna need to get on that. And also on the 26th, I'll be attending something for code enforcement and blight, because that is strategic planning set group 3. And I'll announce when we'll meet again. But I also want to clear up what Commissioner Jackson said. We did not take, the fact that we have the $75 million in infrastructure needs did not come from Chief Williams. It came from our engineers. We paid through a grant from DEQ. We paid for an asset inventory assessment. And McGill spent over a year assessing our infrastructure, our roads, our pipes under the ground. So that is where the $75 million need came from, not from Chief Williams. You said that he was doing, but I'm clearing it up. We paid professionals to do an assessment. We have $75 million worth of infrastructure needs. We're also looking at an increase of 21% from PWC, because we don't produce water, we buy it. So how we're going to reduce our water bills, but also deal with a 21% increase. That math doesn't work. As some of my parents say, that never been done. No. I'd like to see that happen. And that's it.
And introducing our new interim town manager, Mr. English.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Thank you all citizens for being here tonight. I just want to first say thank you all for this opportunity. I am grateful. I'm also a child of God. I'm a husband, and I'm a father of 2 young children. My professional background, I'm a proud, historically black college and university graduate, North Carolina Central University, a master's in public administration, and a bachelor's degree from St. Augustine University in business administration. Yes, I worked at the state level. I was department head for the Department of Administration, helping smaller minority businesses, 5,000 of those registered through my office. My experience include economic development, working in Eastern North Carolina under an Economic Development Administration grant at the Kenan Institute of Kenan Flagler University at UNC, Chapel Hill. And my professional relationships across local, state, and federal governments give me an opportunity to help grow this town of Spring Lake. Over the last 9 years, I have operated my own government affairs practice, working with local governments, mobilizing resources to those communities, and taking the town to the White House. I'm proud of that. Actually, the first black incorporated town in the state of North Carolina, the town of Princeville. And so, yes, some of you all have done the research, but Google, Facebook, don't tell the story about Dennis English. Oh, thank you. I'm going here. It's been an interesting 2 weeks. Over the past 2 weeks, first let me acknowledge that change can be challenging, but my commitment to the Board of Commissioners and the people of Spring Lake is work diligently to develop our community to its full potential. We will not be defined by our past challenges. We will distinguish ourselves as a leading community tomorrow and in the future. Having said that, the last 2 weeks have been truly enlightening, to say the least. But as I mentioned earlier, as a person of faith, I look at this as a calling to serve. And so here are a few highlights from my time so far. I met with the representative from the Local Government Commission and have scheduled bi-weekly meetings going forward to ensure our community is on track with our financial affairs. I have scheduled a weekly meeting with Sherry Becker, the firm the city retained to complete our 2021 audit. They have committed to completing the audit by next month. As you are aware, we have 5 outstanding audits. I'm currently coordinating with all of our town commissioners, staff, engineers, and community stakeholders to identify the top priorities for our water infrastructure. We are in the process of scheduling budget meetings with all of our departments to go through their needs before we present the budget proposal to the town commissioners. I met one-on-one in each department, speaking with the leaders and listening to begin to identify ways to provide support for the great things taking place in each department. A meeting is scheduled, and this has actually just hit my desk. We're going to be partnering with FTCC, Fayetteville Tech Community College, for the Utility Hope Program partnership to give us more in our water ops department. Our water ops leader is sitting there in the back with the green shirt on there. Raise your hand higher than that. She only has, counting on my hand, the amount of people for our entire water operations. So we have work to do, and I think this FTC partnership, this Fayetteville Tech Community College partnership, will be an opportunity for us to provide workforce development for those young adults wanting to pursue a career in this particular field. So I'm looking forward to that conversation. The mayor and I, thank you for inviting me to the meeting tomorrow with the county manager. Looking forward to that meeting with the chairman, DeVere, tomorrow morning to discuss matters that the county and the city of Spring Lake can work together in a collaborative manner. Thank you, Mayor, for bringing me into these discussions right away. And to sum up my report, and I will also schedule a meet and greet to let you all know that you can get to know me. For our citizens of Spring Lake here, right here at the city town hall, and provide you an opportunity for you all to share your thoughts about our city's future. Equally important, I will be coming into the community and meeting you all at your place of business, in your schools, in your churches, so that there is a full opportunity for us to get to know each other, work together for town Spring Lake's future. You will find out that I truly embrace the concept of servant leader. In closing, let me say Spring Lake is truly a gem. Yes, we may have some edges that will be polished, but we are a town with great potential. I am committed to working with all the people of Spring Lake to make sure we reach that potential. Thank you.
Mr. Manager, there were a few questions that the audience posed. Do you mind addressing those? If you want to be better prepared for those questions.
At this time, what I recommend is that we schedule that one-on-one, or maybe even an actual talk with the town manager right here. I don't want to take up any more of the time of the commissioners with that effort. Thank you.
I'll now entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-11A6 personnel and NCGS 143-11A4, is it 46? Just give me the thing because I can't remember. Thank you. Pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3, attorney-client privilege, and NCGS 143-318-11A6 personnel. Commissioner Thompson.
So moved.
Is there a second? Commissioner Cooper.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are now going into closed session. We will take a brief recess before we enter into closed session.